I didn't think they were serious. When I saw Biden come out and start to begin his little speech, I didn't think they were serious. I didn't take him at his word. You could tell he was just reading and he didn't even know what he was reading at times. He seemed to get angrier and angrier, which is the face that someone makes, unfortunately, when they're confused and upset and they know that they're sundowning. Before any of that conversation, just understand that Thursday night, this is what we're referring to, was the big speech. But Wednesday night was when they told him, Joe, you're our nominee, buddy. Hey, Joey. And he's like sitting in his chair like, what? I'm what? And they're like, Joe, you're the nominee. And he's looking around. He's like, wow, thank you so much. What an honor. This is so great for me and my family. God bless. And then he puts his mask on and walks away. And, they're all kind of just, oh, and Jill is like, come on. So that was Wednesday night. Thursday night, he actually gives a speech. And this is from Bill Whalen at Forbes, a contributor there. He says, Biden's speech, acceptance, avoidance, clairvoyance. And if you've heard the speech, then you'll get exactly what he's referring to. He says, in becoming the first Democratic nominee since Franklin Roosevelt not to deliver an acceptance speech before a live convention audience, Joe Biden made all sorts of history tonight, in ways that he'd rather not recognize. At age 77, his birthday comes just 17 days after the election, Biden is by far the nation's oldest first-time presidential nominee. Well, he's run 3 times, so, third time's the charm, I suppose. A record previously held by Donald Trump, who turned 70 during the summer of the 2016 election. So I think he was 69 when they made him the nominee, though, right? Maybe not. I suppose not, because his birthday was before the convention. Biden, being of Irish descent, can also claim a different kind of minority status. Thank God. I'm Irish, so finally I get to say something cool. What is it? That I can claim that Irish people were also slaves, because they were? What does he say? If he wants to, he can say that 94% of all living Americans are younger than he, who aspires to lead the nation for the first 4 to 8 years. Oh my God, for the next 4 to 8 years? He already said he wouldn't run again, so this is a little odd. For the next 4, if he would win, right, by January he'd be, tapping, and by February they'd be circling the wagons to get Kamala in. Biden's already older, than 27 presidents at their time of death. So you think about all of history, you think about every president we've ever had, and you think about how old they were when they died. Biden's older than 27 of them. That's well over half, because we're only at 45. It took Biden 3 attempts over the course of almost 33 years to finally get the right to say, I accept this nomination, right? I just said, 3rd time's a charm. Others have also been this persistent. Ronald Reagan earned the Republican nod on his 3rd try. Also, Hubert Humphrey, Democrat, pulled it off in 16 years. It only took Reagan 12. So, not the first time a hat trick on running has made him a nominee. It says, finally, if you thought the Democratic National Convention at times resembled open mic night, well, they spelled Mike wrong too. Come on, man, get a copy editor. At the Villages, well, that's definitely true. Its insistence upon showcasing desiccated former statesmen, either pre-iPhone like Jimmy Carter, or pre-cell phone, or superannuated. I don't know that word. Try this for superannuated. When Biden first entered the U.S. Senate in 1973, 6 of his colleagues first drew breath in the 19th century. Oh, shit. Okay, Biden's old. Okay, so you can get that. The age stuff is getting old, right? Let's break down Biden's acceptance speech, an important moment in the course of the general election, as its Democratic nominees one chance to speak directly to the nation without either paying a fortune for airtime or having President Trump glaring at him from across the distant stage, right? So they're saying they're going to have a debate, he thinks. Not going to happen. I don't think so. Here are the 3 considerations from the author. It says, expectations. In retrospect, Trump did Biden a huge favor going into the convention, because by consistently mocking him, barely compos mentis, this attack ad, for example, he's barely competent, doesn't know what he's doing. You set really low bars for, like this is saying, Trump's setting low bars for Biden's speech. We have low expectations for anything that Biden does or presents himself because we hammer him so hard. So this does seem to make a little bit of sense that he gets a passing grade because we're expecting him to fail. And even if you say he absolutely failed, his party will say, he got a D+. He's a C-. It's okay. And so that he did. Except for a couple of minor stumbles, 3 to 5 minutes into the address, usually starts tentatively, Biden's voice was strong, his pacing was good, nothing spoke to a politician incapable of conveying coherent thoughts. That said, Barack Obama needn't worry about being supplanted as his party's best, most soaring orator. Much of Biden's 25-minute address was riddled with cliches and buzzwords, hope and light and love, an American moment, we need to unite and heal, and so forth. Now, the author is not pointing this out, but this isn't newspeak, it's doublespeak. And if you don't know what doublespeak is, you should look at what the definitions of doublespeak are, and then see that when they're given the Congressional or the Presidential Medal of Freedom on the day they are unmasking General Flynn, literally Biden was accepting and being adorned with a medal the day he was requesting to unmask General Flynn, and he was given a Medal of Freedom for it. So again, doublespeak, hope, light, love, an American moment. We're going to unite, we're going to heal. More like bring people to heal. Right, Hillary? Anyways, because of the short, choppy sentences, probably an acknowledgement of his age, there wasn't much in the way of moving passages, which, oddly enough, works for Biden. He's neither inspirational, nor is he transformational. Think comfort food, not spicy cuisine. For you presidential nerds, there's a chart in this article. For recent convention speeches by length, you can see there's Biden way below. So, not good, buddy, not a great look. Anyways, you can check that out. This is the substance of his speech. In keeping with the food metaphor, the speech wasn't a feeding frenzy either. Look, I'm not going to continue to read into this. You can go watch his speech. If you haven't seen it already, that'll give you a whole lot better of an understanding as to what was in it and what you should be looking forward to. I do like this, though, at the end. This is, we'll also get an idea of the strength of the Democrats' premise that in a moment dominated by a pandemic, coupled with 5 tiring years of a perpetually provocative Donald Trump, soothing words trump bold ideas or dynamic personality. Mr. President, you're up. Yeah, no, you know what, Bill? Everyone will love to see what the president has to say. And I guarantee you it will be more coherent and it will make more sense than saying we hope that the light will bring about an American moment for healing, for us to unite. It's just word salad. That's what they call that. If you don't know what word salad is, look that up while you're reading about doublespeak. Before I end the video, make sure you like the video. Make sure that you leave a comment so that I understand, some feedback, what the audience is thinking. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That always helps. Do everything else that you can do to keep America afloat. And then let's just check this out. Because as we get closer to the election, I'm going to be pointing out in some videos a few different little flashbacks to things that I think are critically important for you to recognize and understand today. So, Donald Trump has asked a question. And it's a question on how would you tax or tariff American companies who are threatening to leave? You know what happened with President Trump and Carrier, right? You understand that he saved the company from leaving, and they've actually had a whole bunch of activity here in the U.S., M&A activity, mergers and acquisitions, since. So they've been growing here domestically, and I know for a fact Carrier is hiring right now. Carrier is here in the U.S. because of Donald Trump. Watch this.
You in Pendleton, South Carolina, earlier this week at the rodeo arena. It was a bit chilly there. You promised the crowd, and they rose to their feet, that if Ford or a company like it were to move a factory to Mexico, you would try to stop it or threaten them with a 35% tax or tariff on every car sold.
Or a tax. Yeah.
Right. So my question is, based on your understanding of the presidency, where do you derive that power? Would you need the consent of Congress to go along? And do you see the presidency as a perch from which you can cajole and or threaten private industry to do something you think of? It's an act of commitment to your city as a perch from which you...
Now, keep in mind, didn't mean to do that, but I found the spot right away. That's pretty cool. Okay, keep in mind, Donald Trump had at this point been for years hammering Twitter, right, chipping away at Barack Obama, saying you can't pass laws and just have the Supreme Court say they're a tax and therefore they're within the power of the president, okay? But that means Donald Trump knows it is within the power of the president to pass a law as a tax, what he just described. That would be within his power. And yet you have the moderator asking, where do you see that in the presidential powers? Like, where would you see that? Are you seeing that like are you seeing the presidency as a perch by which you can just sit and lob little economic attacks at private companies that you just don't like or for whatever reason? No. He has a keen understanding of these things. The moderator's belittling him and condescending in the question, and you can hear the people laughing. But you already know the outcome here, because it's years later now, so you already know what happened at the end of the story.
You can cajole and or threaten private industry to do something you think is better for the U.S. economy.
I would build consensus with Congress, and Congress would agree with me. And I'll give you an example, because I don't like the idea of using executive orders like our president. It is a disaster what he's doing.
He's been tweeting about it for
consensus,
years.
But consensus means you have to work hard. You have to cajole. You have to get them into the Oval Office and get them all together, and you have to make deals. Let me just tell you, I mentioned before, China, big Chinese company, bought the Chicago Exchange. Carrier is moving. And if you saw the people, because they have a video of the announcement that Carrier is moving to Mexico, okay? Well, I'll tell you what. I would go right now to Carrier, and I would say, I am going to work awfully hard. You're going to make air conditioners now in Mexico. You're going to get all of these 1,400 people that are being laid off. They're laid off. They were crying. It was a very sad situation.
Called it years ago.
You're going to go to Mexico. You're going to make air conditioners in Mexico. You're going to put them across our border with no tax. I'm going to tell them right now, I am going to get consensus from Congress, and we're going to tax you when those air conditioners come. So stay where you are or build in the United States, because we are killing ourselves with trade pacts that are no good for us and no good for our workers.
All right, Mr. Trump, thank you so much. We're going to take a break.
Yeah, you better take a break, because no one can follow that. And you know all these people sitting there just kind of staring off? You know that they're thinking, shit, he's right. And you know what all the people at home were thinking? Finally, someone says something that makes some sense. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And then do everything else that you can do to keep America afloat.